What is up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, it is the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, quite possibly the last of the SilverHawk figures that I will be collecting from Super 7. This is the Ultimates Super 7 Copper Kid. Now, I say the last because realistically, we already have the main cast of SilverHawks. We pretty much have gotten all of the villains from it. And those are the only ones that I'm going to want to get. There's a couple other SilverHawk characters that are probably going to come out that I honestly don't have much of an interest in those particular characters, so I doubt I'll get them. The only thing that I would really look forward to buying from Super 7 when it comes to SilverHawks would be the Mirage. If they ever release that, I'll more than likely get that. And I can't imagine them not doing it. They released the vehicle that Copper Kid did. I don't have any interest in that. Plus, that was $150. Did not care to get that. But the Mirage was something that I always wanted as a kid. To this day, I've never owned the vintage version of it. I would love to have a in scale version of that. Very accurate, all that kind of stuff. That would be super cool. There's no reason to think that they wouldn't do it. They did the Thunder Tank for Thundercats, so maybe? Who knows? But here we're taking a look at Copper Kid. First thing that I noticed right away is that something that they did with the later releases of their Simpsons figures, they got rid of the slip cover with it, which is really unfortunate because to me, the presentation is a big part of it. That slip cover was on all the other SilverHawk heroes and villains that we got. They didn't do it with Copper Kid. So it automatically feels like they're scaling back a little bit. And when they're doing cost-cutting sort of things, that's obviously going to add a cost to this figure. But we're already paying like $55 for each of these releases. So that's a negative, if you ask me. The package still looks fantastic. You got the SilverHawks logo down there, Copper Kid. Gorgeous blue that tends to go up, not tends to, it actually does, go into a black sort of section up here with like a sky field coming on the back. And you got a very cool image of Copper Kid, just kind of as a hologram sort of thing. You got a bit of a read-up right there. If you want to read it, you can pause, do your thing. You can read it right there. But packaging-wise, that is about it on it. I'm going to do a brief cut on this. I just kind of wanted to talk about how they're kind of skimping on some of the packaging now, which is kind of unfortunate. But, you know, it is what it is. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further to-do, I don't know why people say further ado. Is it ado or to-do? Either way. But I don't have anything else to do other than open this up. And let's see how cool he actually is. All right, so here we have the Copper Kid opened up and out of its packaging. And as you can see, joined by the rest of his SilverHawk team. Now, much like all the other ones, there's a lot that I like about the Copper Kid, but there are a few aspects of him that I really do not like. The biggest thing, and it's right up front, is still going to be the color of him. I don't think he's necessarily as drab and boring as Quicksilver, but he's also a little bit more accurate of a color tone, I guess, than Steel Will and Steelheart. I still think that Bluegrass is probably one of the better of them, but a lot of people are automatically going to dislike these because they are not the toy representations of them, which was the VAC Chrome. Now, they have released VAC Chrome versions. I don't know if I'm going to get those, to be totally honest. I like the fact that these are designed to look like the cartoon. The Quicksilver and I want to say Steelheart that I've seen, they look good, and they definitely have that chrome element that a lot of people kind of associate with the SilverHawk figures, but I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about it. Now, For Copper Kid, starting off first with his accessories, much like all of them, he does come with these laser blasts that you can see right here. You do have the little blast effect on the edge that can be removed. And these little guys will, here, just set that here, will attach to these arms. As you can see, you have an open section, or where's it at? There it is. Open section that you just plug that in there. And when they're flying around with the wings out, all of them have it. You can put the blast effect in there to replicate the little lasers that would come out of their shoulders, which it's still weird, but I don't complain about it. But you do have the blast effects. While I have these arms out, they are interchangeable with the arms that are on them. You can see that the wings, much like Steelheart right there, you just plug them in there. There are no elbow joints on them, but you do still have the swivel, the pin hinge section here for the shoulder, and then the swivel right there just below the shoulder section. So you can put that in there and put any hands that you want. You know, they're a little bit better to have the more open. No, that's not really. This is a little bit better. Kind of a flying kind of hand. You just peg that right, and there we go. And you can have him flying around. Swaps out it in and out very easily, and then you can see that you have the line that goes along the body. So much like Steelheart, you can see how it kind of goes along the actual silhouette of the body, which looks really very good. Several different hands, kind of like I talked about. You do have the more flying hand. You do have a whistling hand, as Copper Kid is from the planet of the mimes. A lot of his communication is done by whistles, different tones, things like that. And you got a little finger section here that is designed to act like he's whistling. You do have a pair of hands, both right and left hand, that has him kind of looking like he's holding on to something. Now, he does have, like I talked about, an individual vehicle. I forgot the name of it. But again, all of them have these hands that are like that, and it's really making me hopeful that they will do a Mirage, because they would hold on to the handles inside there. They'd be laying down, kind of like if it's a bed, and then they would hold on to this, and they would pull themselves, and I'm dropping stuff, and kind of launch themselves out of the Mirage. So I am hopeful that they do that. That would be really cool. But you do have those hands. You do have this flying hand. I'm trying to see. You do the whistling hand. What's this guy? Now, this one here is kind of an open hand that kind of goes along, and you have an open hand like this. It's different than the flying hand that you can see here. This hand is designed to go along with his discs, I feel. He holds them fairly well in his hand. I mean, depending on how you want to do it, I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. It probably looks a little bit better like that. So you can take the disc off of him and throw that. Now, that disc is not removable, but he does come with 4 of these individual discs, which I guess that's nice. You know, and you can have them, toss them around and throw them. Oh, wait, these have little pegs on them. Do these attach to them? Hold on. Let's get... oh, yeah, they do. I'm sorry. So you do... I don't know why. Didn't notice that. You got the little holes right there. So you can peg that right in there. Maybe. If I... It's very small, and it's kind of slippery because of my soft hands. There we go. There, put that on there. There we go. There we are. Look at that. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it, Paul. So you can do that, and then you can remove those from him, and then he can go whee and throw those. That's fun. So, yeah, that. Very cool. Let's just get his arms situated there. Now let's take a look at Mayday, his Boyd. Now, again, I don't know the thought process on this. Some of the birds that come with them have articulation. Some of them don't. And it seemed like the first wave of them didn't have it, and then the second wave did. But from what I understood, the second wave was supposed to have come out first. These these guys don't have any articulation in them at all. Like, not even a rotation at the head, which is lame. But Mayday does look really cool. I also really like now the vintage toy, which I no longer have because I sold it, but it had a whistle on it. You could like blow in his tail and it whistle, and you can see that there's a little line right there, which is similar to the whistle section on the vintage toy, which that's actually kind of cool. And then you have the little center section there. I don't know, but very much copperish, which looks good. I do like how there is a sheen to it. You can see a nice reflection, which is very similar to all the figures. There's a bit of a sheen, but the colors are still not perfect. He does come with two different portraits. You have this one, which is him whistling, which is normal because that's the way that he would talk. And then one with his visor down. I mean, even love the detail. Even when you look at the back, you got his little dangly tail thing right there. I don't know what that's from, but extremely accurate, very cartoon-esque, which I think is wonderful. I love it. But you got the mask that just comes down, still exposes his ear. The regular head sculpt is just him standing there. There's nothing. I do really like the whistling one because, like I said, that's how he communicated. But everything on there is extremely well done. The paint applications are very stellar. The color choice is what I have the problem with. So when you look at this guy, again, you can see the shine on him, but he looks more orange than copper. And that's a problem, I think. And I think that a lot of people would be okay with the cartoon accurate if the color choice was more accurate. I think that's the biggest problem that people have with these. I think that they like the toy-esque with the chrome on there. I think that looks really good because a lot of times people would play with those toys. They want to replicate that. But it just feels like the color choice on these is not up to par. And it's very interesting to me because all the good guys, all of them, including Commander Stargazer, the colors are not quite as good as they should be. Yet the villains, all the colors are amazing on that one. Like, they nail it. It's weird that they were able to recreate the cartoon accurate colors for the bad guys, but not the good guys. They're different, which obviously you can see, but again, still not accurate. I also don't like the way that his head's kind of on a bobble. So you can see how long that peg is. And when you pop that on there, that doesn't look good. It honestly doesn't. Not a big fan of that. And especially when you look at how big of a gap that is right there. That's kind of ugly. It also doesn't have a hinge here. So in terms of getting him in a flying pose, sorry, my throat for some reason is not very clear. That is the best that you can do. That doesn't look good. So it is kind of, I mean, there is some bobble going on there. It's not terribly loose, but could be better. The rest of the body is really well done. Great sculpt work on here. Like I said, the portraits are amazing all the way around. That's never been an issue with these. Super7 nails the likeness. It just always comes down to the color, and I feel like I'm harping on that, but that's ultimately what I think is going to make people a little bit disappointed in these and not want to purchase them. I think that a lot of these ones, people are going to look at them and say, I'm just going to wait for the chrome ones because the chrome ones actually do look good, even though they don't look like the cartoon. So it is what it is. Birds look good. Accessory count is fantastic on it with the weapons. I do like how you have these little side bits that you can remove, and he fits perfectly, as you can see, with the rest of these guys. It's a great figure. If you're getting the rest of them, you have to get him to kind of complete it. But just know that, again, it's not as good of a figure as it could potentially be, and that's disappointing. Articulation-wise, as I talked about with the neck, you do have the same articulation that all these have. You got the pin hinge joints for the shoulders. It's kind of illustrating the swapping that you just pull that off, pop that in there, and then get that kind of situated. Let me get that rotated around. Oh, and what? Oh, I just pulled that entire thing out. So there's that. And then you're going to pull this up, and you're going to kind of line it up along there. Again, it just kind of fits along the body. Wish it was a little bit more. I don't know how they could have done it. I mean, I feel like that's kind of just being a nitpick. But let's see. Maybe if I rotate that around, because you got a rotation here, which does make it a little bit tricky. But you can kind of see that there's a little bit of gapping right there. It's not terrible, but it's now I just feel like I am kind of nitpicking on this, and I hear myself saying, "Paul, shut up." So I don't know. It's as somebody who has waited his entire life to have cartoon accurate representations of the Silverhawks, part of me can't help but be a little bit disappointed in them, I guess. And that's, maybe my own personal problem, having the expectation and being let down by them. The rest of the articulation, like I said, is all the same. You do have a waist rotation right down there, good range of motion, hips move forward and back, in and out, all that fun stuff. Bends there at the knee, ankles move forward and back. They also have a little bit of a hacky sack pose right there. So very, very fun. I'm happy to have him. Like I said, he looks great in terms of the overall sculpt. This keeps popping off, though, and that's gonna just give me another thing to kind of complain about. Why is that not staying in at all? There we go. All right, something like that. I mean, I do like them. I know it's sounding negative. I do like them, but as I mentioned, I just think that they could have done a better job with the overall execution on a lot of these figures. The other thing that I mean, at least his bird displays decently on his shoulder, whereas a lot of these other ones, like Quicksilver here, I had to. Oh no! That fell. That was not supposed to do that. Quicksilver, I had to put like a little twisty tie on there to keep Tallyhawk on. Let's see. We're trying to get these. And then with Steel Will, I ended up using a little sticky stuff. I'm also looking at this. Is it me or does it look like... I don't remember if that was discolored previously, but like this looks like a different color. I honestly, but like I got a little sticky tack thing right there to keep his bird. And see, it doesn't really stay on there all that well. That's one aspect that I really wish that they would have addressed. Well, let's see. Let's get him. Oh no! See, that's. See, there's aspects that frustrate me with these dudes, and he's a drunk bird. That's all there is to it. So, I'm happy to have the entire collection. Obviously, as I talked about, like Hot Wing, some of the other ones I don't really care that much about. Also, these things don't like standing, as you could clearly see. So, like I said, I'm just right now. I'm relatively frustrated with them. There's aspects that they could have done so much better. I'm not going to keep going on it. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Super 7 Copper Kid. Know that these figures have a plethora of problems that just make them difficult to enjoy. And like I said, I wanted to really like these from the very beginning. And it's like once you get them in a pose, if you get them to stand there, they're fine. You try moving them, they're going to topple over, and they're going to hate you. That's what's going to happen. And lordy. So I'm just I give up. I give up. But there you go, guys. If you do want to add this figure to your collection, maybe get some display stands for him or something. Shit, I have no idea. If you do want to add him, they are available right now. He is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. I will put a link down in the video description for that. That way you can swing on by and add any of these guys to your collection and your display right away, as soon as possible. Bluegrass, he was going to fall, I could already tell. Something like that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, and if you had fun watching me struggle with this, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. That way I can see that like and know that you enjoyed yourself. Also, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you can always stay on top of whatever I'm doing. All that fun stuff. But until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and I'll be the same.